So what's up people, and welcome to another Alita Battle Angel GUNNM YouTuber video. Yeah, I know a few days ago I already made another YouTuber video and I wasn't thinking of making this one. Instead, I was going to talk about Mars Chronicle and the Ancient Treasures again. But a couple of interesting videos came up, which I thought was worth making another one of these YouTuber videos on. And so I apologize, I'll probably move the Ancient Treasure Part 2 to maybe tomorrow or a couple of days from now. But I wanted to go over a couple of very interesting videos that came up. And so without further ado, let's get going. The first one is by our very own StarofElyon. And this is with regards to the update that's happening in both his channel as well as the Alita Army website. And so he goes over some of the changes that he will be doing, and then of course talking about the recent changes that are going on in the Alita Army website with regards to live streaming. And so if you want to learn about a lot of that, and if you haven't seen this video, I know many of you already have, then I would suggest you check it out. I'll leave a link to the video in the description section of this video. And rather than for me to go over what changes he's doing, I would rather have you listen to it from the source. And so, yeah, please, if you're interested, go take a look at his video. And so moving on to the next video. The next video is also by one of our own Alita Battle Angel YouTubers. And that is Tamquam Leo. And he recently brought out a video called The Alita Sequel Will Do Even Better. And I really liked this video. It's a very positive, upbeat video that talks about a couple of very interesting things. First of all, he gives a very concise list of reasons of why a sequel is actually very low to almost a no-risk business venture for any of the motion picture companies out there with regards to the various key indicators that he talks about, such as, of course, the great fandom that we all know about. But to get it into detail, I'll leave a link to his video, and I would rather have you listen to his list than for me to try to bring it out here. But the other point that he gives is kind of some points with regards to how the future Alita videos may do better, and he does it in a very positive note instead of giving it as a criticism to the current movie. He gives this as a suggested form of improvement for the next one. And I found a lot of his points to be very interesting. I mean, I did agree with most every one of his points. The only difference between my video and his is that his is done in a much more organized and clear manner. And so I really enjoyed listening to his video because it's in a mode that I was like, I wish I could say it that way in my video. But in any case, if you would like to see that, I would again suggest to go see it. And one of the really nice points he brought up is, again, the difference between understanding the Alita Battle Angel or the Battle Angel Alita entire storyline versus what you might call your, again, typical superhero comics. And I won't go over too much of that. First of all, you should listen to his video if you want to hear the details. But I know we covered a lot of it. And as many of us know, the story of Battle Angel Alita is a lot more in-depth, a lot more complex than a typical superhero story. And it's also a lot more mature. And because of that, it's not one of those fun for the all family sort of storyline. And when it's kind of portrayed that way in the marketing and sales of the franchise, then people get confused about what this, story is about. And he brings up a good point in that so many people and so many companies now want to make everything feel like this is a challenger to Marvel, This is another Marvel Cinematic Universe level of motion picture. You have the MCU, you have the DCEU, and now we have the ACU, right? The Alita Cinematic Universe, right? But the tone of this story is very different from a lot of the things that you might see in either Marvel or DC. And a good example of what he brought out is the poster. And the unfortunate thing about the poster is that it's a very generic superhero looking sort of poster. And it gives the, hey, come take a look at Alita. It's another Ant-Man sort of poster. And unfortunately, because of that, it gets put into the why wouldn't you think it's a superhero trope sort of movie, because the poster and all the marketing goes that direction. And we all know that the story is a lot more complex and it's a lot darker. And so one of his suggestions is make the marketing and sales for the future movies a lot more appropriate to what you expect in the storyline. And so I was thinking about this a little bit more, and I do agree with him with regards to the need for a change. I'm not sure if my choices for the change would be what he feels is appropriate, but for me, I do agree. This is the wrong type of image that positions this movie in an appropriate manner. I mean, if you think about it, Alita Battle Angel, if you want to go with a superhero type of parallel, is a lot closer to something like Logan than it is to the X-Men. And because of that, the types of image should be a lot more towards that gritty sort of somewhat even a more dramatic sort of image, more than just the action sort of movie poster. And so I was thinking about what sort of images may look well. And of course, the one obvious one is Logan. I mean, this sort of dark, abstract sort of image may be a lot more appropriate, especially for the future movie, which would be Alita Fallen Angel. However, aside from Logan, there are other particular art styles which I thought were pretty good. One of them is Sicario. Yes, it's not a superhero movie, but it is very much a mature and very gritty, very violent movie. And to be honest, I like the posters that came out for this motion picture. It really portrays the heaviness and the darkness that you expect to see in the movie on these posters. And so, I mean, if the franchise or if the motion picture is supposed to eventually be faithful to the franchise or the manga, then I would expect that it takes on a Logan or a Sicario sort of dark, gritty feeling that is necessary, especially for the next arc, which is the Alita Fallen Angel arc, which again I feel is the Japan arc. And I mean, even Robert Rodriguez can do this because of the fact that he's done this in the past, because one of the other art styles which I thought was more appropriate is Sin City itself. And again, that sort of environment is much closer to what you expect in the Alita Battle Angel franchise than what you would see in your typical superhero sort of cinematic universe. And so if Robert Rodriguez wants to go back to his old roots, I would think that Sin City, not Sin City 2, I'm talking about Sin City, would be a wonderful foundation to set the tone for something like, Alita Fallen Angel. And one final one is actually something like Alien. Yeah. Not Aliens, the James Cameron version, but the very first one. In the sense that if you look at this image, there is a dark, brooding sort of feeling. And from my perspective, this turns out to be very good. For those of you who've read the Japan arc, you know some of the dark and menacing sort of things that will come out at the very end. And I could see this becoming much closer to what you might call a thriller horror sort of genre than the original motion picture of Alita Battle Angel. And so if that's the case, I could see even one of the posters being like aliens, and instead of the egg, you have basically one torn off robotic cyborg arm that's lying on the ground. You know, take the ground that was, for example, like in the sewer area where Lita fought Grushka, and have a cyborg arm, you know, torn off, even a berserker arm torn off and laying on the ground, you know. And with some tagline like, you know, this time the stakes are even higher or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, they could do things that will help people understand that the next movie will be far, far more serious and far, far darker than the original movie. And again, I'm not sure if Tamquam Leo agrees with me on that, but I do agree with him with regards to the nature of the way the motion picture was marketed and the franchises being marketed is a little bit off-putting because of the fact that people are so inclined to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DCEU superhero bandwagon that regardless of what the movie is, people just can't seem to find any other way of marketing it by except saying that it's yet another challenger to Captain America or, you know, Spider-Man or something like that. And we know that, I mean, again, Spider-Man is a good example. Alita is a lot closer to Venom than she is to Spider-Man, especially in the next movie. And because of that, again, it shouldn't be marketed the way typical MCU movies are. And so now, I'm digressing too much. I'm sorry, Tamquam Leo. But I do want to thank him for opening my mind and making it think about all of these points. And thank you very much for bringing up that video. And for anybody who's interested, again, please go take a look at his video. I will leave a link to that video in the description section of this video. Okay, so now moving away from the cinematic universe and back towards the manga universe, the next video is by a gentleman named the Oshinko guy. And he made a video with regards to, how to draw Alita, or how to draw Gali if you want, to separate between the movie and the manga, but how to draw the manga version of Alita. And so, he does a pretty good job of drawing Alita. And so if you want to see a fan of the comic do a really nice job in portraying Alita, then I will leave a link to his video as well. This one is kind of a fun video to watch because you get to see somebody drawing Alita in a very nice manner. And for trivia's sake, if anybody is interested on where this guy got his name, the Oshinko guy, Oshinko in Japanese is pickles. So I don't know why he chose that name, but in any case, I guess he's the pickle dude. But yeah, if you're interested in the manga portrayal, then go take a look. And this brings us to one of the oldest videos that I've referenced so far. But it is one that I absolutely love. And it's one by a gentleman named Moe the Destroyer. And he went out and took the images that came out in the very first part of Last Order, where the comic for the first time introduces little Alita, or little Yoko, to the readers. And he put them in a kind of a video slideshow sort of series, along with some really appropriate music. And it is a lot of fun to watch. And it really brings out Tamquam Leo's comments with regards to the fact that the story of Alita is not like your typical superhero feel-good sort of movie. This is a very dark and very deep storyline. And you can see it right from this part of the comic. And so for those of you who haven't read Last Order and who would like to get a little glimpse of what little Yoko or little Alita was like, and what her life was like, then I would suggest you go take a look at this. It does make me sometimes laugh or smile when I do see every once in a while some comment that says, I wish we all grew up like Alita. This chapter or this video will show you why I often say, no, I don't think you want to grow up like Alita. And this is just one small bit of a very, very disturbing childhood that she had. It also shows one of the very short scenes of Gelda. And so, yeah, if you don't mind being a little bit spoiled, then yeah, I would go take a look at it. The music he chooses and the pacing he has with this images is perfect. And so, although this is an old video and this goes back to the comic rather than the movie, for anybody who hasn't read Last Order or who hasn't never read the Battle Angel Alita manga, yeah, take a look at it. And yeah, you'll get to understand what sort of world Alita's universe, comic verse, is like. Anyway, that's about it for this video. And I'll go back to my usual other videos in the future, starting with the Ancient Treasure Part 2. And I apologize once again for bouncing around all over the place, but I did want to bring out this video, especially to announce that StarofElyon had that announcement with regards to the changes in his channel, as well as to introduce the Tamquam Leo video, especially for anybody who hasn't had a chance to look at it. Okay, well, thank you very much. And if I do find any more cool videos, then I'll make more videos introducing them here. And until the next Alita video, happy comic book reading, happy movie watching, and as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.